American-themed night at Happy Valley on Wednesday night with the Kuantan Cup, our feature race. Race number 4 is part of the 8-race programme on Wednesday evening. Very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Lejeune. Good to have your company, as it is the company of Paul Lally, our form expert, and Brett Davis, race caller as well. The Cup's a really good one, Brett. Flying 5 the trip there. Really good handicap to finish as well over the mile. Yes, Andrew, it's another good night of racing, no doubt about that, at Happy Valley. There was a massive crowd there on opening night. It'll be the same again for Wednesday night. Weather, touch wood, is hopefully meant to be clear, so that'll be good for racing. It'll be warm and hopefully plenty of hot racing to go with it. It has been, yeah, a record crowd, over 20,000 on the opening night, and plenty to get involved in the jackpots as well, Paul. Yeah, we've got a $6 million jackpot on the Triple Trio, which is a good one to start off with. And also we've been seeding these pools for the quartets and the first fours, and we've got 3 more again on Wednesday night as well, races 4, 6 and 8. 4, 6 and 8, absolutely. All right, we need to get straight into it. There's a lot to get through today, including, actually, before we get into Happy Valley's programme, looking back on the weekend's action at Kuantan, the feature race, the Kuantan Handicap Cup. Now, there's only a small field going around under handicap conditions. Magic Legends got out in front. Ultimately, he was a little bit disappointing, but how good, Jolly Banner? Well, in the recent trial, they just sort of dropped him in and allowed him to accelerate rather than sort of having him that little bit handier, and I think it's been able to extract a little bit more from him. It was a very good performance. He really let down strongly. Went into the race fresh. I think the team were pretty confident. Winner's Way was game in defeat. Magic Legend was a bit disappointing, although he worked hard. What about the run from Horse of Fortune with all that weight as well? So, a bit to like about the first 3, I thought. Yeah, definitely. And look, we saw the good mile of Seasons Bloom, or look, heading towards the mile. I think Jolly Banner's in the same sort of category. I wouldn't mind seeing a clash between those two at the moment, because I don't think there's too much between them. Both of them, I think, have got a little bit to find to sort of get to sort of, you know, Group 1 company. But as we sort of said, you know, with him, you know, like, they just changed the tactics around to try and extract that little bit more of a rating, and maybe they can probably do that. It's good to see these younger ones up and coming, though, to fill that void, isn't it? Yeah. Horse of Fortune was giving him £14, and with the greatest respect, Seasons Bloom all day for me over a mile, so we can have a side bet on that if and when it does happen. But he's a lovely horse, and I actually had him in for second on the day, but massive upgrade. You see him walking around the yard. He's such a lovely horse. Yeah. Looks a lot like his old man, doesn't he, really, Lonhro? And Winner's Way, take nothing away from him. He was pretty genuine on debut as well. Yeah, so a nice performance from Jolly Banner. He got 5 points for that. Some of the other winners on the weekend, Pingu Spark, Paul, he was pretty good. Yeah, really, I like the way there's still plenty more to come from him. He was over £1,300, so I think there's plenty more improvement. He's another one heading to the top as well. He goes up to a rating of 81. He's going to get over 100, so I believe, anyway, the way he's been going. And a few there, also Amazing Moment, up 7, and Super Eurostars seemed to jump with the rise in class 5 to class 4 with no issues. And again, we saw another horse from the Thranky Law stable, More Than Lucky, improved and was a very solid winner, I would have thought, over A Beautiful. Yeah, Telecom Boom had his day as well, so he'll be a while between his next Every horse has his day, although no, Jenny disagrees, you know. She put me firmly back in my place. Actually, there's a few that miss out. All right, well, those are the winners on the weekend, who we found out from the Also run to hopefully be winning very soon. All right, Paul, you're first up, and it was the final race for you on Sunday. Yeah, Happy Surveys. I did make him a long shot on the day, and he got back as we expected. You can see he's back last here on the turn. He comes to the inside, doesn't go around a horse, so it wasn't a bad ride, but just the way he hit the line. Now, he is a horse that hasn't won on the surface before, but has won numerous times on the turf, especially at Happy Valley. So keep an eye out for him, especially if he gets back to Happy Valley. I don't think a win's too far away. I like the way he hit the line. Just behind my horse to follow from last week, winning Van Gogh. That's caused, we had a few tweets about that. Oh, yeah, there was a bit going on, wasn't there? We'll leave that alone for now, though. I knew he'd run well with all that discussion about how to pronounce his name. I'm going to go Red Elise. I think the other 2 horses to follow have both been pinched by the 2 guys either side of me. So I'm going to go with Red Elise. This horse, remember, won on debut 100 to 1, I think he was. It was a bit of a surprise for everybody, but I just like his endeavour. That's the main reason I'm suggesting he's a horse to follow. He probably wants a fraction further, but A Beautiful and More Than Lucky really looked like they had it, but he just didn't give it away, Red Elise. Look at him still grinding, trying hard,
Had it have been a little bit further, we know with a bit of cushion in the ground, he's probably a little bit more effective. But I'm just going to suggest you can follow him because he's a horse that gives his all.
Yeah, and if they win a race, they're not, they've obviously got something there, haven't they, to work with.
Yeah, he's limited, but
he should pick up another one.
There's a few more in him.
All right, race number 8 for me from the weekend, and Ho Ho Field was slowly out, and just before this happened as well, Grand Harbour was out in front, stacked them up, and Ho Ho Field veered off to the left, ran off the track a little bit, settled himself down, then rattled home down the outside. This is Amazing Agility and Win Win Ruby. It's a good performance from Amazing Agility, actually, but he's actually run the fastest final sectional here. He's a winner at Happy Valley. This is over the mile, but 16.50 at Happy Valley. I think he could be a bit of a player because Win Win Ruby, a lot of respect for him. Gorgeous again in there as well, and Sergeant Titanium. I thought it was a pretty good race. Yeah,
he's one of those horses from Dennis Yip's yard that sort of hovered around 4 for a while, but he's just got better and better with age, like a good red wine.
And White Magic was held up a bit towards the end too, so he's another one that you could take out of that.
All right, so that might be a race to keep an eye on in the future. All right, as far as the Stewards Reports, Sam Clipperton, Arizona Blizzard, couple of days, and Matthew Poon on Mr. Genuine as well. Careless Riding, 2 days as well for him, the 20th and 25th.
That, of course, Matthew Poon was last Wednesday night, not on the weekend.
And for the withdrawals, we've got a 2 coming out of Wednesday night's programme. That's in race number 2. That is Travel Successor and Unicron Jewellery as well for John Size out of the last. So that brings you up to date. So we move into Wednesday night's programme, which is meeting number 4. 8 races. We're on the B course, and we kick things off with a Class 4 of the 1,200 metres, the Chicago Handicap. Smart Boy, just the 8 of them going round here, first up for the season. Starlight, 3rd last week, course and distance. Never Better, course and distance winner last season. We've got Secret Agent, 3-time course and distance winner. Paddington from Barrier 1, Winfrey Patrol, 5th on the opening day. And Happy Fiery Dragon behind Household King for the first meeting too.
As has been the case, Andrew, for the first few meetings, the fields are a little bit on the light side, but that'll gradually improve as we go further through the season. But it hasn't stopped the intrigue with regards to wagering on the contests. And this race looks pretty clear-cut on the speed map. Patrol will lead, and the rest sit behind him.
There's 3 main chances, I thought, in this race, and one we've already seen race, so I thought I'd concentrate on the other 2. The first one being Smart Boy. We'll show his 2 pieces of track work leading into this. This is the 29th of August, and he backed it up with another piece on the 1st of September. Just easy work, but he seems to be moving nicely. You can see he's not too much excess condition on the off-season for him, so he's done OK. And the other one we'll concentrate on here is Paddington. Joe Moreira will take them out. His best run since he was in Hong Kong was fresh up on debut here. Now, this is his first piece. Again, he's been slow away in his trials and that, so we're just on his track work though, he's been OK. And then they raced him down the back straight here, and they just sped him up a little bit. So it was a little bit quieter. Then they moved into the one which they just sort of gave him this final tune-up here down the back straight, and that was on the 11th of September, so it wasn't that long ago.
All right, that's Paddington. Barry 1 tongue tie goes on for the first time for him. We're going to start off, though, with Umberto Responsibly. He'll be riding Never Better.
Umberto, you've been riding Never Better over 1,650 metres at the Valley in the past, but he gets back to 1,200 metres. He's fresh. How do you think he'll go?
Well, it's a horse already. He had a winner in Happy Valley on 1,200 metres. I think there is no problem for him. His horse always travels very well. He doesn't give every time the 100%, so my probably on 1,200 small field, he can give his best.
When you say doesn't give everything that he's got, is that why he's only won once and run a lot of placings?
No, it's just then you have to asking him and try to take off from him the best, because he's a pretty cheeky horse, but at the same time he's a honest horse. He's always in the market, always in the money. So my probably 1,200 first step will be a nice start for the start of the season, and he might probably better next time on the 1650.
Yes, of course, in distance winner last season, but maybe this is a stepping stone to a bit further.
Steered us away a little bit there, suggesting maybe he takes the run and follow up.
I think he'll be doing his best work late, so I put him in for 4th because it drops away quite a lot, but I don't see him as a main winning chance.
Yeah, I don't see him as a winning chance, but an exotic chance, quartet, so forth.
Yep. All right, well, this one could be a main winning chance. Starlight, solid effort last week. Fox Hunter just getting home here in front.
Yeah, look, had the benefit of a start going into this race, as has Win for Patrol, Happy Fiery Dragon, and also Noble Du Bois. I'm a bit like Paul. I think probably Smart Boy and Starlet are the 2 to choose from. I'm going to go with Starlet because he's got the claim for Matthew Poon. and he's drawn barrier 3. You think he'll probably get back, but he did lead a race over the mile one night at the Valley, so he's got enough pace there early if he needs it.
Yeah, and he's had the benefit of a run, which is on 7th, so and in a small field, I think he can be a little bit closer on the pace too.
All right, OK, so that's Starlight. Smart Boy, we saw him in track work. This is a trial. Horrible conditions this morning. Horse out in front is Premier. He's all right. Yeah,
it wasn't really pushed, obviously, in this trial because of the conditions. He's still a 10-start maiden here in Hong Kong, but he's been very consistent. This will be his 3rd start now down in Class 4, and has been placed on the other 2. So this is his grade, and he should get a good run barrier too. Zach Purden, I think he's one of the main chances.
Yeah, I've had a bit of time for him for a while, and I think, you know, he's... When I first looked at the race, I wanted to tip him, and then I just came back to Starlight because he's got the claim and he's also got the run underneath the belt. And as Paul said, he has taken a bit of time to win one.
All right.
Boy.
OK, well, how about Happy Fiery Dragon? He was 4th on the opening day behind, and we've talked about this horse quite a bit, Household King.
Yep, reads all right, doesn't it, on the form guide? Drawn in 5. He's had 2 runs at the Valley, hasn't done anything before. Took a little bit of time for the penny to drop, but the win was all right in Class 5. It was over Le Pegas, so... not an overly strong form reference. He needs to lift.
He does. He's a sort of horse, I think he's got the ability, but just doesn't really want to put in all the time because his track work's all pretty good. And he was, you know, he was away from the winner there. Household King won it pretty easy. And maybe charts in for him, as you said, his Happy Valley record's not too good.
All right, OK. 8 of them go round in the opening event then, Paul, Class 4 over the 1200.
Yeah, I see 3 main chances in this one, Andrew. I've gone with Starlight, I know Brett as well, to beat. Now, Paddington... They've been giving him plenty of sort of work, education leading to this. Joe Moreira will take them out, and the tongue tie goes on as well. If he is slow away, it's only a smaller field, so it shouldn't inconvenience him too much. Smart Boy, and then Never Better running on late. I'll just box those 3 up. I can only see... I see the winner coming from 2, 6 or 1.
Same. Actually, I've got the same 3 numbers. I'm just going to leave... Paddington, I think, from what we saw on debut... has got the ability to be winning this race, but we haven't seen him back it up yet. So when we do, then I'll be more confident. I'm going with 2, 1, 6 and 4. Starlight for the reasons I mentioned, Smart Boy, Paddington, and I'm going to throw Noble Du Bois in. He had excuses last start prior to that abnormal breathing at the end of last term. His trial was OK before his last start. He showed pace, so he might offset that wideish gate. So 2, 1, 6, 4 for me in race number 1.